Hello and welcome back. Just received this box full of oddities, courtesy of Yahoo Auctions Japan. And I'm pretty excited about some of the things in this box, so let's go ahead and open it up, see what's inside, and do a little bit of a discovery on some of the items. So let's get right to it. So first things first, let's go ahead and get the box open. And well, here it all is. So let's start unwrapping. And as always, ordered this from Joss, which is a intermediary working on behalf of auction sites like Yahoo Auctions Japan. And everything seems to have been packed really well. So hopefully this survived, especially this, which we will open up towards the end. But let's go ahead and start going over some of these other items and see what we have. So first we have a small keyboard, and this is designed for the Sharp Zaurus line of Linux-enabled PDAs. They weren't all Linux-enabled, but they were towards their later generations. And I don't know if this is going to be compatible with the ones that I have, but either way, this might make it into another future interesting project. So let's go ahead and get this open and see what this is all about. So it's pretty cool that it's still in the original box. Looks like the box has seen some better days. But let's see, because the pictures online, it's kind of hard to tell what the size is of some things like this when you come across them. So it looks like we have some instruction manuals and some packing contents, of course written in Japanese, so I'm not really sure what they say until I get out my translate. Here is the keyboard itself, which seems to have a slide cover reminiscent of graphing calculators. And if we get this out, here is the keyboard itself. So it has a nice feel, actually. It's not so bad, and does actually fit kind of under your hands, so this might not be a nightmare to type on. I thought it was interesting just because it does have a good arrangement of keys. It has both English letters and Japanese writing, and doesn't take any batteries. It connects using a small port on this side to the actual PDA. So I was hoping the cable was going to be inside of here, but it's not. So we'll have to see if I can find some sort of a connector that will fit this port here. And yeah, this is going to be a kind of an interesting little device here. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it, but it was probably about $5, so I think it was worth potentially picking up another accessory for some of my Zaurus PDAs. And for those not familiar, this is one of them. So this is a Sharp Zaurus SL5500. And this has a slide down keyboard here, or it slides down to reveal a keyboard. And it is a touch screen, and this runs Linux, a small compact form of Linux, and has an SD card slot and a compact flash slot. So this can accept a wide variety of compact flash cards, network adapters, modems, Of course, just regular compact flash cards, and then additional SD card slot for other storage. So this is quite a cool device, and hope to be doing a deeper dive into this in a later video. So I thought maybe this would be compatible with this PDA. I don't think that this would connect natively, but potentially through this dock connector here at the bottom. And I don't know, just thought this would be interesting. So that's the little keyboard. Next we have this small box, and well, this is a PCM-CAA card of some sort, and actually kind of interested to see what the compatibility is of something like this, because if the way that this is described is true, it should be rather interesting. It's also a good bit heavier than I was expecting, because really, I think there's just a PCM-CAA card inside of here, but let's find out. Maybe there's a cable or some extra accessories, but let's see what we have going on. So this is a DVI graphics card, that's what they call it. It's a 32 megabyte DDR graphics card. It says it's compatible with ADC, although there's no way that that is true. ADC uses a different connector, and of course supplies power to ADC enabled monitors. Those are the old Mac Studio displays. But if this truly does DVI at 1920 by 1200 resolution, that's not bad at all. So let's see if we can get this open. I think it slides out, and it's quite nice packaging for a. I don't think I've ever seen a PCM-CAA card come in quite this sophisticated of packaging. Let's get that label off, that box off, and okay, so we have a clamshell, it's like a sunglass case inside of that box, and let's see, okay, so inside indeed we have a PCM-CAA card, and doesn't seem to want to come out of there. There we go. Okay, there it is. So Village Tronic VT book, and not a whole lot else written on the card. So one thing that you can notice right away is that it has this gold strip at the top here, and this is normally a good indicator that this is a card bus enabled card, which means it needs a 32-bit PCM-CAA slot. So the other way you can normally tell that is that on the other side here there is a rather thick tab. So those are the two good indicators that this is a card bus enabled card. So this won't work in some of my laptops, but some of the newer ones I think it will. So we might have to give this one a try and see if that's actually a working card. The other accessory here is just a DVI to VGA, and this has to be the heftiest and heaviest one of these I have ever seen. You can see it's even shielded internally with an entirely casted metal case around the whole adapter. So most of these that I have weigh absolutely nothing, but this one seems to be of a particularly nice quality, so that's pretty cool. There doesn't appear to be anything else in this box. This is just to hold those accessories inside, but looks like there's magnets that kind of hold it together, so that's quite a nice touch if you were traveling around with something like this. So I'm going to put this to the side, and then we will do some testing towards the end. Okay, the next thing here is, this doesn't appear to be in a box, but straight away you can see some AV cables inside. And I think when I open this up that it will be a little bit surprising as to why this has AV cables. But let's go ahead and get this package open. Of course I don't want to slice into any of those cables, so I'll be careful here with the knife. Let's see if we can go ahead and get this open. All right, so we have a package of some AV cables. Take a look at these first, just to see what we have. Packaged well, it's nice. Okay, so 2 sets of AV cables here, and appears we have some input and output, or just pass-through audio and video cables here, and 2 kind of phono plugs here at the end. So I'm guessing this one is for video and this one is for audio. Let's take a look at the card itself. So this is a compact flash card, and we'll go ahead and get this open. And I have a big fondness for anything compact flash or PCMCIA related. And when I saw this really piqued my interest. It appears to be some sort of a capture card, which in itself isn't all that interesting, except for the fact that it's in a compact flash form factor. So the way that that would work is certain compact flash enabled devices like the Sharp Zaurus here, I imagine you would stick it in like this, and then somehow I could capture video over composite or audio and save that. So this is pretty interesting. Looks like it has 2 buttons for record and stop. Not really sure why the buttons would be on the card itself. I'm going to imagine that there's some sort of a software that makes this work, so we'll see if we can find that. But this is quite an interesting little compact flash card, so hopefully we'll do some testing on this. Okay, next box. This is a device that is apparently called the Slipper U. So let's get this open and see if we can figure out what the heck this actually is. Sometimes when you come across things like that compact flash card, it just piques your interest enough to want to track one of these down and see what it actually is all about. Sometimes when you're researching things and reading a lot of translated things, that it's kind of hard to tell what exactly something is for. So when you start seeing something that says USB and it has data rates and well, I think this is a PCMCIA adapter over USB. So let's get this open and see if we can take a look at what this actually is. I do like that it's still in the box. That means we should have software and any other accessories inside, which should be pretty useful. So there's nothing else in there. Looks like we have the manual, and we also have a disk full of drivers, and I do see Windows 98 and Windows ME, Windows 2000. It even says Macintosh, and oh, it actually says 95. Yeah, so it looks like there's a lot of drivers on this disk. So let's see if there's anything in this manual we can see, and yeah, it's all in Japanese, so there's not a really great clue. So let's actually take a look at the device itself. So let's get this box open here. Okay. So this is a pretty strange thing. And I think what makes this special, if I'm understanding its function, is that as opposed to other USB PCMCIA card readers that just work with ATA and flash cards, I think this one may actually be a PCMCIA bridge over USB. And so that's interesting because you may be able to add an additional full PCMCIA slot to your computer without needing to use a different computer or add another piece of hardware inside. So I'm actually really interested to see what this thing does when we plug it in, because I couldn't really make it clear that this potentially lets you use network cards or modems or other devices that would normally connect over the card slots. So Slipper U. Not really sure what this does yet, but hopefully we'll find out. Okay, and last but certainly not least, at least as far as weight goes, this is definitely the heaviest item in the box. Pretty excited about what this is. It's pretty rare. You don't see these around a whole lot, and I don't know, let's see if we can get this open and check out what this might actually be. Well, it's a little laptop, and it's made by Mitsubishi. So that's kind of interesting. We don't normally see a company that we kind of associate with making motorcycles and cars and other things to be one that might be making laptops, but apparently they had a foray into it. Not just this, but several other models. So let's see if we can get this rear door open. I'm not really sure. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we have a VGA port, we have serial and parallel. Of course, it looks like we have an infrared port, keyboard and mouse port, and a really tiny barrel plug adapter there. So that's oh, that's an interesting design. I wonder if this is, oh, it like folds up under the laptop. Is that, oh, that is quite clever. So you can use this rear door that protects the ports in the back, and once that flips down, it kind of locks into place, and you can use that to raise up the back of the laptop. And that's pretty clever design there. Never seen anything quite like that. A little bit of cosmetic damage, but with devices that don't normally come up very often, you don't get a whole lot of options. Looks like one of the rubber feet has fallen off here at the bottom. And I'm assuming here is where the battery is. It must be. So again, this is quite a heavy unit for what it is. So let's see if we can get this open. And look at that. That is quite a tidy interior that this little machine has. So we have a small screen. It looks like it's probably a 640 by 480 display. I'm going to guess that it's not active matrix just by the fact that we have a contrast. So typically something like a contrast controller used on passive matrix displays. And we also have a brightness slider. So that's pretty cool that those are just right there and available. Inside, small keyboard, has a nice feel to it. Track point mouse and 2 buttons here. So let's find a power supply and see if we can get this hooked up. Okay, so we're taking a look here at the bottom of the Mitsubishi laptop here. And one of the things that I wanted to see is if there was any sort of indication of the pinout in voltage for the barrel jack here at the back. And it does say that it takes 14 volts, but there's nothing that seems to indicate the polarity. So one of the things that we can do, it's going to be difficult to get to the negative contact. But if we take our multimeter, we should be able to find out whether or not the positive lead, the center pin here, is connected to this outer jacket of the keyboard port. So we'll get this connected here, and then we'll touch our probe here. And no, it doesn't appear to be. I wonder if I can get it to make contact. Yeah, I think this is probably center positive. But let's go ahead and hook up a small barrel cable. So here I just have one that's random. I have no idea where this came from. But first thing, let's make sure that the outer jacket is connected to the right wire. So normally on these, the one with the stripe is going to be the positive. But okay, so that is not the case here. So that's good to know. Okay, so our negative is indeed the one with the stripe on it. And we'll just double check that. So again, it's not that one, it is that one. All right, so now that we know which wire is connected to the outer jacket, let's go ahead and plug this into the computer. And hopefully that's going in far enough. And we will hook our probe up to the negative wire there, and then, yep. So it looks like this is center positive. So I'm going to go ahead and get this connected to the bench power supply and see if we can see any signs of life. Okay, so I have the bench power supply all connected for 14 volts, or set for 14 volts. Let's get that connected to our barrel cable. And again, on this cable, the one with the stripe is the negative. So we'll go ahead and connect our lead here and to our positive, and connect that to the computer. Hopefully we don't release any magic smoke. That would be unfortunate. So we'll go ahead and connect this to the back. Okay, we have a orange light that's come on. That's probably good. That's probably a good sign. Looks like it's blinking now. I'm not really sure what's up with that. Go ahead and open this up. So that is for the battery. So either the battery is not working or it is unhappy with something about the battery. But let's push the power button and see if we get any life. If I can push it. Oh, yellow, green light. It looks like it's doing something. I hear hard drive noises. Okay. Some potentially unhappy beeps there. It doesn't look like the screen is turned on. But it definitely, I hear a spinning hard drive inside. Let's see if we can do a Control-Alt-Delete. If that does anything. Nope. Let's see. What happens if we turn it off and turn it back on? Okay, it doesn't look like with the power button that it wants to turn off. So it is unhappy about something. If we unplug... Okay, it ran for a second there, which could mean the battery does actually have some life in it. Let's see if we can try that again. Just one more time. The power button's pretty hard to press. It's probably a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. Okay, some interesting noises. Yeah, those are sounding like some unhappy beeps. So let's see if we can get this thing apart a little bit and see if we can see maybe why this thing isn't turning on. Okay, so I think the most obvious place to start is by removing this screw here, which looks like it holds or covers something to do with a battery, just based off of the shape. So let's get this screw out and see if that gets us any closer. Okay, and how does this come off? Not really sure. There we go. Okay. All right, that is definitely some sort of a battery. Does that come out? Okay, it does. Oh, that is a very strange connector. So this looks like it is a lithium-ion battery. 10.8 volts, 1350 mAh. And, well, if this battery isn't working, we may be able to rebuild it. I'm very happy that this isn't NiCad or NIMH or some sort of a nickel-based battery. Otherwise, this probably would have leaked all over the place. And it has this very interesting connector over here. It looks like it's just 2 wires, so there's no sort of kind of data wire for the battery. So we'll have to probe that in a second here with the voltmeter and see what we're getting. But yeah, that's never really seen anything quite like that. So let's see what the machine does now that I've removed the battery, if the behavior is any different. So we'll go ahead and plug it back in. And we'll go ahead and turn it on. Okay, hard drive is making noises. All right. Yeah, it kind of sounds like the same behavior, so I don't think it had anything to do with this battery, although maybe it does if this battery is just completely dead and it expects to be able to run the machine from the battery, although it is running from the power adapter, so it sort of implies that you don't need the battery or it shouldn't be required for the operation of this machine. But we might have to start digging into this a little bit further, so let's see if we can get this open. Go ahead and pull the power again. I'll set some of this off to the side. And And we'll flip it back over, and it looks like it's just a series of Phillips head screws, very accessible. They're not hidden behind anything. So this should be rather easy to disassemble. So let's see if we can get those screws out and reveal what's inside. Okay, I'm just going to remove these 4 screws. These kind of feel like they're certainly threaded for plastic, it looks like. So no metal inserts, best I can tell. So you got to be pretty careful with screws like these, especially putting them back in. And these feel different here at the back. Okay, so these screws at the back here have much thinner threads, like a machine kind of a screw. So probably metal inserts here. And that should be all 4 screws removed. So these 3 all look like they're the same, the one that held the battery in, and these 2 over here, and then the ones at the back have the much thinner thread. So let's see how this might come apart now that we've removed those screws. Looks like the bottom half, okay, it's already starting to separate. So this bottom piece, I do wonder, are there any screws at the back? Let's open this housing here. No, I don't see any screws here. So this should just start to come off. Though it doesn't feel like it wants to. I'm not sure if there's a bunch of clips. Okay. All right, so let me get the spudger and see if we can work that around the edge, because I don't want to do any damage to this that I don't have to. Okay, I have the spudger here, so let's see if we can work this around the edges and try and release any clips that may be holding this together. Looks like there's some clips here near the ports. Those look like they've already been released. And along this side, let's see if we can work this in. Yeah, not really sure. It feels like it should be coming apart, but maybe it's just the weight is holding it down. But I wonder if we have to release the clips covering the LCD hinges here. Not really sure about that. So, yeah, it seems like it's coming apart, but I feel something kind of holding it in the middle. I do wonder if the keyboard is supposed to come out and there's any screws underneath. Oh, what is that? Why does that move? What is that about? I've never seen anything like that either. So this whole bar slid to the side. Oh, and it comes off. Oh, that's very, that's kind of similar to the Toshibas. Librettos and a lot of their other laptops have a small kind of bar that sits on top of the keyboard. And it looks like that's revealed a screw. And the keyboard does appear to lift up, so be careful with this. Okay. Oh, wow. Hey, look at that. There's the inside of the machine. So we have the card slots here. It looks like we have some memory over here, although these are quite large, physically large RAM chips here, if this is the RAM. I don't know if I've ever seen memory kind of like that. And I'm assuming under here is the CPU. Well, that's quite a strange package there. But let's see. I think we should go ahead and disconnect the keyboard. And the first thing I notice here is that there's no clips for these flat cables. So we're just going to have to carefully inch these out of these connectors. So there's one. And I don't know what really the best way to remove those is. So I'm going to hold the keyboard and just kind of wiggle this back and forth. There we go. And this last one. Okay, there we go. So it looks like the keyboard is obviously a matrix here with this membrane. So this is probably the top and the bottom. And I'm imagining that this cable well, actually, yeah, you can see right where it goes. So that one is for the track point mouse. So there we have the keyboard removed. So now we can get kind of a better look at the inside of this machine. But I don't really see anything that might be holding it together. But when in doubt, just start removing the screws that you can see. So I think we'll take this one out, although I'm not really sure what this one would be holding down. So, okay, does that give us any better ability to disassemble this unit? Okay, it looks like it's starting to separate, but it doesn't want to entirely. It does look like we'll have to disconnect some more cables. So I'm not really sure. If I had to guess, this is probably for the backlight inverter. So we'll disconnect this cable. And the screen looks like it has a clip here for its little ribbon. So I'm going to try and release the clip on either side of that. Just very carefully here with the X-Acto knife. Probably not the best thing to use. I'm going to use the spudger instead. I want to slice one of those cables open. And let's see if we can get this other side to come up. Okay. Yeah, that might be as far as that goes. And does this want to come out now? There we go. Okay. So yeah, I'm guessing that is for the LCD. And then I'm not really sure what this white flex cable there is for. Maybe for this row of status indicators? But it does kind of feel like there's something still holding this machine together. So, although I wonder if it's just pulling it. It might just be pulling on that ribbon. So let's see if we can get this ribbon out, and that is quite tight in there. So let's see if we can rock that out. Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, that is lifting up for sure now. So let's see what else is connected. It probably has. Oh, okay. There we go. So yeah, this speaker here. Yeah. So there's a speaker here that was hanging out underneath this side here. Then we have the battery connector. We have this, which I'm not really sure what that is. It looks like it was some sort of a foam piece, but that has degraded quite substantially. It almost looks like battery corrosion, and kind of similar effect going on here. So I'm not sure if there was a glue of some kind that is just degraded. And there are a couple more cables. So we have one for, I'm not really sure what these are for. And yeah, so this is going to be, I'm actually going to mark one of these because these both look like the same connector. So I think I'm going to add a small mark on one of these cables so that I know where that actually came from. Okay, I'm just going to add a mark on this cable here. I'm just going to draw some black Sharpie on it just so I remember that this one goes into this connector. So now we should be able to get these disconnected. These are quite thin. I don't want to pull them by the wires, but I don't really see another option. Okay, that one came out. And that one. All right, so that is the top half of the laptop removed. And it was quite tidy, very, very thin LCD here, especially for the era. So we'll set this aside and turn our attention to the interior. So, okay, yeah, so this is the hard drive right here, and that makes sense. So I'm guessing the CPU is under here, this heatsink assembly. And let's see if we can get this a little bit further apart. And this is an interesting bit. the mouse buttons are actually right here on the motherboard. So there's no cable in the top half for the two mouse buttons. So that's quite interesting. You don't really see that a whole lot. So yeah, let's see if we can get this a little bit further apart. I do see some screws. So let's get to removing those and see if we can get further inside of this unit. Oh, something just fell out. Okay. Ooh. All right. Yeah, so it looks like this piece just kind of fell out. And it's over here, and I'm not really sure what the purpose of these two kind of brackets. It looks like something may have screwed onto the side, so I don't really see. Yeah, so there's holes on the sides. I'm guessing there was some sort of an accessory that kind of bolted underneath or to the side of this machine. I'm not really sure, but either way, I'll just go ahead and take that out before it falls out. So let's see if we can remove these screws. I see some here, and I think I see one, at least I thought I saw one down here somewhere, but yeah, we'll go ahead and remove these around the ports. See if that frees up the motherboard. And does that release anything? I don't know. Not really. Yeah. So I wonder what holds the motherboard in here. It doesn't exactly feel loose. So yeah. And I don't really see how this heatsink is attached either. I'm not sure you can take that off. Looks like there's a coin cell battery up here, and I wonder if that has started to leak or died, and maybe that's why this machine is not turning on. So, okay, I was fiddling with this a little bit, and I noticed that if I picked it up by the hard drive, that the motherboard started to come out. Okay. All right. Okay, yeah, so there we go. So the motherboard's really not held in by a whole lot, but now we can see the bottom, and it has quite a complement of chips on the bottom here. So obviously we have some memory here. Looks like a PCI controller, two Intel chipset chips. There is a button right here, so that's interesting. I wonder if that is accessible from the bottom. Not seeing that that's the case, so that's interesting. Oh, there is a off-on button. Man, I wonder what that is for. Is that just a secondary power button? That's very strange. So, yeah, I wonder if that's just the same thing as this one. It's just maybe some accessory can push that from the bottom of the computer. That is kind of interesting. But let's see, where was that battery? So here's this battery over here, this little coin cell. I'm not really sure what that is for, probably BIOS settings, time. But I don't really see any corrosion. I mean, maybe just a little bit, but nothing that really says corrosion. It could just be residue from tape or something else. But yeah, I wonder if this battery is dead and maybe that's just preventing the computer from being able to turn on. So I think one thing I want to do is get the hard drive out, because I just want to image that if there's any particular drivers or something special that's on this drive that might be lost if we keep messing around with it. But I don't really, okay, so there we go. So yeah, the hard drive is just screwed on from the bottom. So there's 4 screws, it looks like, that hold that on. So let's go ahead and remove that. Okay, that screw was loose. That's probably not a good sign. And yeah, that's a little bit different from these. These are all the same. This one's kind of loose too. So probably a lot of vibration from this drive. Just kind of worked these screws loose over time. Well, let's get these out and see what the hard drive looks like. We'll flip that back over. And I don't know if this is just adhered to the top, but there is this plate with a little bit of kind of a foam, so I don't know if that's for vibration or to dampen noise or heat. It could have a lot of purposes, but we'll go ahead and rock that off of the connector, and there we go. So it looks like a fairly standard laptop hard drive, a little bit thicker than many of them are. But let's see if we can peel this cover off without totally ruining it. Just wanted to get a look at the capacity, but at the same time I don't want to bend this metal unduly, so I'm going to attempt to power up this drive and see if I can go ahead and image it and at least get the files off of it. And then we'll take a look at this battery. Okay, so while the drive is imaging, I wanted to take a closer look at some of the other parts of this board. First thing I wanted to see is what's going on with this memory module. It says NM64M SDIMM, so a 64 megabyte DIMM. That would be pretty large module. These clips are kind of hard to get apart though, so I'll use this spudger over here. There we go. Yeah, so there we go. That looks like the additional RAM module, but again, those are really large chips, so I'll get that kind of a better focus here if I can. Looks like it doesn't want to focus. Come on, there we go. So yeah, you can see those are really large packages, and it does have RAM on both sides. It's like these have the same kind of part number, this NM64M. So I wonder if each of these are 64 megabytes by 2 bits or something. I'm not really sure. Guess we'll have to get the machine powered on to see if we can figure out what size that is. But for further testing, we can remove that for the time being. It looks like there's plenty of memory on board. So the next thing I wanted to look at was this tiny coin cell battery. So get out the voltmeter here, and let's see if we can get any sort of reading off of this battery. So I'll do one of these here and here. So about 0.1 volts, so whatever this battery was doing previously, I doubt it's doing it anymore. Interestingly, that's going up almost as if it was charging from the voltmeter, so I'm not really sure. But yeah, I don't know, we might see if we just remove this, if that starts to change anything, or if we might have to supply and solder in some other type of battery. So let's give that a shot. Okay, so first I think we'll go ahead and try removing the battery from here and see if we can at least get this off of the board. Rock this back a few times. I should get it off. Okay, there we go. So that is one tiny little battery. Now, I do wonder if this is rechargeable. It kind of looks like it's the variety that is, and there is a part number, but unfortunately it's covered up by this piece of metal that's welded to the bottom. So I think what we could try is plugging the computer in and seeing if we're getting voltage across those terminals. That might indicate that it's trying to charge the battery, so it would be a little bit more difficult to replace it with just a CR2032, although we probably could find room to fit it. We'd probably have to install a diode just to make sure that it's not trying to charge it. So let me go ahead and reconnect power. And let's get the voltmeter over here and see if there's anything coming off of these terminals just while it's off. So not really. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any voltage now. And what happens if we try turning it on? So, hard to say if it's on because all of this, oh, just made a beep. Okay, there we go, we're getting the beeping. So let's see, is there any voltage now? No, there isn't. So let's see if we can hook up a small 3-volt battery and see if that kind of changes anything. Okay, so I have my drawer of various CR 2032 related things. Found a little holder, so we'll use this instead of soldering directly to the battery. And picked this up quite a few weeks ago. Not an endorsement or anything, but this is quite a handy product. It's a little battery tester, and of course I have a voltmeter for that kind of thing, but this makes it really convenient, especially when just testing batteries, because you can pop one in like this and see that this one is, well, this one's almost dead, 2.2 volts, so this one probably should be recycled. And what I like about this meter is it puts a very small load on the battery, so often if you're just testing it with the voltmeter, you're going to kind of get the most ideal circumstances, and this just puts a small load on it. It's running the screen here and the little indicator from the battery. So I don't know, let's see if we can find a better one. That's clearly not gonna be great. I have some brand new ones here, but let's see, do I have any that are good? All right, looks like we'll have to open up one, so not the end of the world. So let's see. Looks like we have some Duracell batteries here, so I'll go ahead and get one of these out. And yeah, this packaging has gotten crazy. I guess it's obviously not great for kids to be eating batteries, but they have made it dangerous for adults to even get them out of the packaging these days. So we'll get a brand new battery here. Again, if I can even get it out of there, gosh. Okay, so brand new CR 2032. We'll go ahead and give this one a test. Let's see what we have. Okay, it's healthy. A little over 3 volts, so that's nice. All right. So we'll go ahead and get a couple of wires soldered up to this holder here and connect that to the board and see if that helps us out. Okay, so I have a couple of wires soldered to this little battery holder. And let's go ahead and solder it to the board. So this contact over here is labeled plus, so we'll go ahead and connect this wire here, like that, and the negative here. And let's see if that changes anything. Oh wow, I guess it's been on this whole time because the processor has been quite warm. I forgot to turn this off. It's kind of hard when there's no lights or sounds or noise. So, okay, let's go ahead and plug this back in and see if now, when we turn it on, if it makes the same beeping noises. So I just push the power button. And, oh, I'm not hearing any beeping at all. Okay, there it goes. Hey, that definitely sounded different. So let's get the screen reconnected and see if this is doing anything. So I suppose we can get this slightly back in the case, and suppose we can go for broke entirely and go ahead and reconnect the hard drive here. See if this thing will boot. All right, so let's at least get the display connected again, and quite a few cables there, but yeah, it looks like this white cable is for the status bar. So to get the screen working, we'll probably just need to connect the data display ribbon here and this other cable, which again I think is probably for the inverter. Okay, well let's I don't know, let's see what happens. I'll go ahead and reconnect power. So that's interesting. Without this other cable. Oh, did it just kind of, that's funny. That cable just kind of fell into the slot there. So that's kind of handy. Let's see what happens when we press the power button. If I can press it. Gosh, yeah, this is really hard to push. Okay, the hard drive's spinning up. But do we get any screen life? Made some noises, but not seeing anything on the screen. Now, I do wonder if that is just the backlight not working. So sometimes you can shine a light or see a little bit of life on the screen, but I'm not really seeing anything. But I'll get a flashlight and see if maybe that is actually displaying something and we just can't see it. Okay, so I have out my absolute worst VGA monitor here. So this is just a tiny LCD screen, a Hands G monitor. And also my absolute worst keyboard. This is Cherry MX, not Cherry MX, but just a Cherry keyboard. Just a very cheap membrane keyboard, very small and compact. So let's power on this machine and see if there's anything coming out of the VGA port, because it wasn't anything on the screen, but it just might have been the display cable there that was just not making good contact with that connector. So let's go ahead and power this up and see if we get any life. Okay, I hear the hard drive spinning up. Oh, the light just came on the monitor. Oh, look at that. Hey, this thing actually does work. Okay. CMOS bad. There's F1 to resume. F2 for setup. Let's see. Okay, well, yeah, I imagine that is. Oh, this looks like a fairly standard desktop kind of BIOS here. So looks like it boots A then C. It has 15 megs of memory. We have some options for IRQs, security, power saving, and exit. So I don't know. Let's get the default values and save changes, exit, and let's see if this thing actually boots up into something. I'm be a little bit surprised to see that. Okay, looks like it's counting up the RAM. Oh, and we can probably reinstall our little module here. Mouse initialized. Well, there's no mouse right now, so good luck. Let's see. Oh, look at that. It's booting Windows 98. Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm going to have to cut something out of this in case there's something very strange on this drive. I've only started to look at the files, so I'm not really sure what's on here yet. But let's see. Let's see. Kind of hearing the drive making a clicking noise. Normally means bad sectors or it's having trouble reading something. So give this a second, see if this actually boots up, but hey, there's some signs of life out of this machine after all. This is starting to get pretty warm in here. And yeah, I would say that is not a very happy hard drive at all. So this might have to be a good future repair, is see if we can get a new drive in here, probably something compact flash. And yeah, see if we can get the display working, find some room to install this battery permanently. But this might be a very interesting little machine. And if you compare it to something like the Libretto, it's a little bit bigger for sure. But the Libretto is already quite small for a laptop. So about an inch wider and maybe about an inch and a half, 2 inches deeper. But definitely thinner than the Libretto. And yep, this is still the M3. I'm still trying to get this thing working. So hopefully we'll get this working in a future video as well. But okay, looks like it, I don't know, did it give up? Uh-oh. I don't know, I still hear the hard drive making noises. Oh, now it's making a different noise entirely. Okay, so I might just let this sit here for a minute and just see if this actually does boot up. But yeah, again, I think this is going to be a good future repair. See if we can find somewhere to permanently get this battery installed in here somewhere. And yeah, let's, you know what, actually I think I'll just go ahead and kill the power here. I'm not really too worried about the contents of this disk. But I would like to see what the capacity is of this extra memory module. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the power. It's not really great. So let's get this RAM reinstalled and see what this does. Okay. We'll reconnect power. And go ahead and turn it back on. All right, hard drive spinning up. Okay, it's still saying 15 megabytes of RAM. I wonder if we have to go into the setup. Maybe if we clear the setup. That's interesting. It may mean that there's something wrong with this memory module. And it's kind of hanging cursor down here of all places. Not really sure what's going on. Let's see if we can do a Control-Delete. That doesn't seem to do anything. It may be unhappy about this RAM. Let's see. I might actually remove the power. Let's see if we take out the battery. And might even just try reseating this RAM module. Let's make sure that that's in there correctly. The contacts look good. So let's try that again. So we'll put our memory back in, clip down, go ahead and reinstall the battery, connect our power, and let's see what it does now. It should be unhappy about lost CMOS set. Okay, there it goes. Okay, so that is a 32 megabyte module. Because we only had 16 megabytes before, so this computer has a total of 48 megs of RAM. So that's actually pretty good for a Pentium 133 system. So this might actually be kind of a fun little computer to get working, especially if we can get the battery working in here again as well. So pretty excited about this. I know we kind of got a little bit into a deep dive here about one item in the box, but yeah. Okay, so that video started to run a little bit long as we took a deep dive kind of into this Mitsubishi Amity CN. It has a few problems, but I think that's going to make a good future repair video. Figure out what to do with the BIOS battery, see if we can get the original battery charging and working, see what we can do about the screen not working, and of course replace that spinning hard drive with something a little bit more solid state, compact flash card. Definitely some of these items I want to do a deeper dive into as well, especially these cards over here, this DVI card bus card, this capture card that's in the compact flash form factor, and of course this very strange Slipper U device. What does this really do? I'm not really sure. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be it for this video, but if you want to be notified of future videos about any of these things, then I would encourage you to subscribe. Of course, like this video if this is the kind of content that you'd like to see in the future, and well, thanks, and I'll see you next time.